What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to bring that NBA slate breakdown for the 10. We got a 10-game NBA slate. Honestly, to me, it's really only 5 games because, yes, the main slate is a full 10 games, but the late games, that's where, to me, the action is going to be tonight. Yeah, these little foo-foo games that we got going on the early, they aight. But these last 10 games right here, these last 5 games. It's kind of crazy that we have this many games going on today, and that DraftKings decided, hey, instead of cutting off at the 9, because it's so late. And of course, all the injury news that we got to worry about, that we got to think about and everything, it's madness. 7:30 lock time. 7:30 is the first tip for the first game. We'll get the news that we need in that game. And then, of course, 8 p.m., a little bit of news we got to get out over there from the Pelicans. It's just so much going on today, injury news and stuff to watch out for and all that. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna deal with it. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody that celebrates that right there. And with that being said, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content your boy drops over here on the channel. And drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money. The content is back. We're rolling today. Little break over the weekend for the anniversary with the wife. Had a good time this weekend. Got back late last night. Took a little bit for me to get up to want to even go ahead and record this video for today, but we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get through it. We're gonna break this down. And like before, huge slate. I'm not gonna go through every single team for the injury news. Instead, I'll do that whenever I get over to DraftKings. We'll break it down like that and look out for what we have to look out for and think about a couple of things. A couple of teams on the back-to-back, some news that I expect for us to get today. Because I know we got Luka, who played yesterday back-to-back. I would expect for him to sit. You got the Suns that are on the back-to-back. We already got pretty much the news from over there with Bradley Beal, with him being messed up over there. But just a lot of stuff that we got to pay attention to, and we will pay attention to it, and we'll get it as we go. Head on over to DraftKings, the site to play the most on site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, make sure you guys check that link down in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. So, starting out, we got the Miami Heat side. Apparently, which, making sure I pull this back up on my phone because I just read it. I just saw this. But it looks like Andrew Wiggins was not at practice today. Pulling up Underdog real quick so I can make sure that I'm not giving false information for this. But Andrew Wiggins, if he's going to be out today, yep, Andrew Wiggins' leg did not participate in shoot around. So with that being said, Andrew Wiggins more than likely out, which would be my assumption. You miss shoot around, you're dealing with leg injury. I expect him to miss. Jaime Jaquez, we've seen him get into the starting lineup before. Possibly would imagine that could be the case today. Right now, projected starters, Hero, Duncan Robinson, more than likely will be Jaime, Bam Adebayo, and Khalil Ware will be what I expect for them to roll out. Going up against New York Knickerbockers, who are playing without Jalen Brunson on the other side right there. For us on this right here, with no Andrew Wiggins, it's going to go right back to what we normally have seen over here on the Miami Heat. That's going to be Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo will be the main 2 guys over here for them. Bam sitting at 8-8. Not the greatest games over his last couple games, going up against Karl-Anthony Towns, which he could go out here and have a much better day, much better matchup. We have seen some opposing power forwards go out here and have decent days, but the big thing for Bam, we're going to need him to stuff the stat sheet, do what he normally does, getting us some rebounds and also getting us some playmaking with his assists. We know the defense will be there and the scoring, he's going to have to score. Those are 2 things that should be evident. Tyler Hero, 8,300, was playing some pretty good ball here and there. He's had 2 27, 28 fantasy point outings out of his last 5. Going up against Memphis, which you would have expected him to be able to put up a much better night, but this was on the back end of a back-to-back, and Rich, I kind of didn't mind fading him there. And I actually think I did fade him for this when I played this slate. Of course, I was on vacation, but I still played. I still dropped cores for you guys. You got all that over there on the Patreon and on the membership tab. If you guys looking for my content, you guys know where to find it. Check the membership tab. It is right there on the YouTube, so you don't have to go anywhere else. I post all of my stuff over there for you guys. But if you want more bang for your buck, check out the Patreon. My boy BK, he drops his stuff for women's college basketball, WNBA. Everything will be over there as well. And whenever my boy Jay decides that he's got the time to be able to come back to us, he will be over there as well, dropping his content, especially with MLB kicking off tomorrow. I believe is the first day of MLB. So definitely check that out right there if you guys looking for that. It is in the link description below for the Patreon, but the YouTube subscription and the membership tab is right there. You can get all my sauce over there as well. So Tyler Hero, definitely bounce back spot going up against New York Knicks. I don't mind attacking with opposing point guards. I do believe that, of course, he's going to be dealing with Mikal Bridges in this matchup. For him, they have played already twice this season, and in those 2 games, Hero went off. He had 56 in the first game versus New York. Second game, he dropped 38 fantasy points in 41 minutes. So that game, it did go to OT. Hopefully no OT games, but still could go out here and have another hot shooting night. He's been off for the last 2 days, pretty much. So definitely gotten his legs back underneath him. Wouldn't mind going there, especially with Andrew Wiggins not going to be not in the starting lineup. More likely expecting and projecting for him to be out. So I wouldn't mind going over there for that. Khalil Ware, definitely more of a GPP option up and down in regards to what we can get from him. Keeps us out of foul trouble. I could see a world where he can go out here and pop like what he did in the second game, which would be the first time that he actually did play going up against him. He played 29 minutes, dropped 33 fantasy points in that. GPP option right there, mainly for me. I'm not really going to focus too much right there. The value, of course, will be Jaime Jaquez if he gets slid into the starting lineup. He has seen his minutes tick up over the last couple of games with 31 and 27 minutes. Now, the question is Eric Spoelstra going to Eric Spoelstra rest? That's the big question over here. Outside of that, I really don't trust anybody off the bench. Those will all be GPP options. I really didn't understand why they moved Davion Mitchell to the bench. I was really like him as a point of attack defender, like the minutes that he was getting out there in the starting line. Granted, the shot attempts, they weren't really there for him, but he still was giving us a decent enough production when he was in the starting line. So really, Bam, hero, a little sprinkle on Ware will be the main focuses over there for me on the Miami Heat side. On the New York Knickerbocker side, looking at them, for me, with Brunson being out, McBride has, of course, stepped into the role. We do know that they trust him. He plays off the bench normally, and he does play decent minutes. 38 and 38 minutes his last two games, 32, 34, right there, 33, 32, 41, 21. He's been delivering and giving us some pretty good production in these games. Opposing point guards not having to deal out there with Davion Mitchell out there as the primary defender. If Drew Holiday can go out there and drop 42.5 fantasy points versus the Miami Heat, Miles McBride, the shooter that he is, the shots that he is going to take, the little bit of playmaking that he will be able to do out there for us at 5,500 kind of seems like a no-brainer in regards to a nice, decent value play if you want to get something from this first game, and I wouldn't mind getting that. Of course, Towns, Hart, Bridges, OG as the ultimate GPP option. All those guys, of course, will be in play. I really don't see myself having to spend up right here to get to Karl-Anthony Towns going up against the Heat. Not saying that he can't go out here and give us a smash of a spot, because first game versus Miami, he dropped 65 fantasy points. Opposing centers, they've been doing decent here in the spot, but 10K is a bit much for me to want to get up here and pay for Towns. I want more than just the little 41 and the low 50s I can give us. So really, unless you feel like you have to play something from this, I don't see. I will really just focus on the value, which is going to be Miles McBride for us. We know he's going to start. We know he's going to be there. Maybe take a chance on Shamet or Campaign off the bench would be the main other two guys that you would look to. But other than that, McBride just sticks out as like the best play over here. Bridges, I could take that right there, especially for the fact that he is shooting. He is seeing some peripheral stats in regards to his assist and his rebounding. So you can go there. You know he's going to play defense as well. But Miles McBride, man, that's just a no-brainer right there, just sticking out to me like a sore thumb. Philly taking on Houston. The 70 fucking Sixers, man. I don't know what they're doing, if I'm going to be very honest. So, of course, Tyrese Maxey, he's going to be out. Paul George, he's going to be out. Kelly Oubre Jr., would be surprised if he plays here today, because they've just done a weird number over here for the 76ers. Right now, projected starting lineup over here for them is Jared Butler, Quentin Grimes. Kelly Oubre is currently slid into the starting lineup, Justin Edwards, and Yabusele. I understand they have to have at least, eight players in regards to being eligible to play. So some of these players possibly could be DNPs. They could be listed as available, but not play. We don't know. I will continue to just stick with the young guys over here for Philly when it comes down to it. Of course, Quentin Grimes, I have to consider him as a young guy because they're giving him minutes. He starts, he plays, he's dropping back to back to back to back. Great games. 43, 46, 59, 41. I kind of can't ignore that over there for him. But 8-1. I can't ignore that. That is a high price tag to play for Quentin Grimes with the possibility of his minutes being canked or whatever it is you want to call it. Primarily for me over here, I would just lean on the side of caution, honestly, when it comes to Philly. Unless it's Yabusele, not even Yabusele. Unless it's Butler, Ricky Council Jr., Doubting. Those would be the main guys that I want to focus to, which would just be like my cheap value plays I could just sprinkle in. And their prices are starting to come up. So really I don't feel like you have to play Philly, if I'm just being very honest. I don't. I really don't. Yabusele, if Drummond is out, we have seen that he has played back-to-back decent minutes, given some decent production. Matchup going up against Şengün or Tari Eason. It's the Houston Rockets. They play pretty good defense. Philly, to me, is really just one of those teams that I don't see myself having to play, especially if you're playing the main slate 10 games here. On the Houston Rockets side of things, though, and with the potential that Philly can't keep it close, this currently is a 16-point spread, 221.5 total, low total and everything. I do like some pieces over here from the Rocket side, though. Tari Eason, he sat out. Of course, we know he's not going to play in back-to-back games. That's why he was out their last game. Tari should be back in the starting lineup, 6,200, and he is producing in that starting line. I don't mind going right back to Tari. 6,200, pretty decent price tag to me. The upside, it should be there for him. We know he's going to start over Jabari Smith Jr. The matchup for opposing power forwards, they've been cooking. PJ Washington just came back, dropped 48 fantasy points versus them. Pascal Siakam, the game before that, dropped 47. Tari Eason, with the peripheral stats that he can get in regards to his defense and also the rebounding that he can do. The scoring is, I don't even have to talk about that. As long as he's having a good shooting night, getting to the rim, or either knocking out some threes, it'll be a good day for him. 6,200, I think that's a bit cheap and would be probably my favorite play if it came down to it over here on the Houston Rockets side if you want to get something from him. Jalen Green, Freddie V, Dylan Brooks, all those guys in contention to play. Jalen Green has played going up against Philly decent on the season. In the one game that they played, he played 41 minutes. It was an OT game, and he dropped 58 fantasy points in that game. So something to consider. 7,600 looking pretty good. Freddie V being back out there. He's dropped 44, 48, 50, 39 fantasy points in these last couple of games. Definitely 7,600. He should be getting closer and back up to his 8K price range. If we think the game can stay close, maybe it could be on the back of a good Jalen Green and Tari Eason type of game. I don't mind taking that right there. I would take Jalen Green for at least 20 points today. I definitely do. I have a little miniature stack that I am working on that I do like for players to score 20 today. I'm not going to go crazy going for the 30 or all that other crazy crap. But Jalen Green and Tari Eason, both of those guys would be ones that I wouldn't mind playing today for them to score 20 if you're looking for some type of parlay action to take on the day. Those two definitely get my vote right there. And definitely, of course, you can mess with Jalen Green's threes would be a potential. Everyone else over here, I'm not really so interested. 9-6 for Shango, not really interested. Again, 10-game slate, definitely some better spots for opposing centers on today's slate. And we're about to talk about one of them right now in this Detroit game, who is up there in regards to, like, he just has to play the minutes. He just has to produce while he's out there. Jalen Duren. We're coming off of a bad game versus the Thunder, but hey, it's my Thunder. It's the Thunder. We ain't gonna worry about it. Number one team in the NBA right now. My Thunder, man. We cooking. We killing it. With players injured, missing everything. Went out there back-to-back versus the Bucks and fucked them up. And actually kind of held Giannis in check. So, hey, that in-season tournament shit, man, y'all can take that shit to the win. Ain't even worried about that. But Detroit, this is if Zion plays, I think this game can stay close because the Pelicans still are out there like actually somewhat contending in games. The duo of Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham in this matchup looks beautiful. Now, we've attacked with opposing centers going up against the Pelicans all season long. This will be the first game that I want to say that they've actually played on the season. Yeah, this will be the first game that Detroit will be playing versus the Pelicans. The upside for Jalen Duren is huge to me in my eyes. The rebounding should be there. Double-double for a fact. I would definitely sprinkle him for a double-double with all the centers that we have on today. Like Duren just makes sense for one of them. And I'm pretty sure the odds aren't going to be beautiful, but if you can parlay it with something else or you need it as a safe piece, I would definitely take Jalen Duren over here. But 6,800, decent price tag. The upside for him to get at least over 35. I got him at the base floor for 35 fantasy points in this matchup, but I definitely do feel like there's room for him to get up to 40, 45 if he's able to cook in regards to the defensive stats as well, getting those blocks and steals in the spot. 6,800. Love it. Outside of that, Cade Cunningham, 9,800. Opposing point guards, we take that versus the Pelicans. Another play that you can take right here for a double-double out of this matchup because the assist should possibly be there for him. I know he's going to score. That's what Cade does. Cade can score, but he also can get his the rest of his team involved with it. And we already know opposing point guards is what we normally would take. Point guards and the centers are what we normally would take in the spot. Now, Chris Paul, he's limited in minutes. He just played going up against the Pelicans. I ain't worried about Chris Paul going out there giving me 18.75 fantasy points or a low usage Corey Joseph going up against the Pelicans recently. Played 30 minutes, 25 fantasy points, but he got to value, which is a big thing right there. Before that, James Harden just dropped 60 on them. John Morant dropped 53. Amen Thompson, before he got injured, back-to-back games, 39 and 44 fantasy points. Luka dropped 68. Cade Cunningham is in the realm of Ja, Harden, Luka. The usage, the production that he can get, being able to score, get a shot. Was also ejected last game from the game versus the Thunder. I ain't going to say there was controversial calls. I ain't going to say nothing bad about my Thunder, but Cade might have a little bit chip on the shoulder. Detroit not getting the respect that they can get. JB Bickerstaff. Oh, wait, no. Chauncey Billups out here, throwing down a hammer in that press conference talking about the referee and everything that they doing. Statement game from the Pistons? Could possibly be. Of course, I would have the Pistons winning this game. Definitely would take their money line right here in this matchup and spot. But definitely Cade, Duren would be my main two plays I want to get from over here. Everyone else over here, Decent spots. Tobias Harris, opposing power forward, is going to be getting that Kelly O defense. Decent, been playing pretty well. Wouldn't mind if I landed right there if he was something that I had to plug in. 27, 34, 29, 38, 34. Good upside. Don't mind going to Tobias right here in the spot. Tim Hardaway Jr., as long as he's starting, he's really just a GPP option. Up and down in regards to the production that we've been getting out of him. Could be one of those boom spots, definitely I could take, but I really don't lean like I have to play Tim Hardaway Jr. Like that's not it for me. Asar though, 4,900. The minute limit is off, but we're not seeing the minutes. GPP option 4,900 really has not been paying it off over his last couple games. Definitely will be a buy low. Definitely he could boom type of spot. Not nothing I'm going to force or feel like I have to get to. Zion's missed the last couple games with personal reasons. I'm not too sure. Not too sure if he had like someone pregnant again or something like that. So if anyone is in the know in regards to what's going on with Zion, that'd be great to know for that. But he will be the main catalyst for this team being able to keep this game close. Triple-double in that last game versus the Clippers, which was amazing. And then 28 minutes going up against the Orlando Magic. Lost that game, of course. I think he could have played a couple more minutes if the game was much closer than that. 25 and 8. Going up against the Detroit Pistons, a player that I normally would attack them with is going to be Zion. 9,400 makes for a decent, interesting spot for a stud if you want to get right there. Now, if Zion was to miss, definitely Trey Murphy, CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, all these guys are going to be in play. If Missy, because he's currently listed as a game time decision as well, missed the last two games for them, and we've seen Carlo get the start over there. If Carlo starts, I don't mind going to Carlo. Definitely would be a upside play that you can mess with, but we got to get that news right there for if he's going to be in or out. Last two centers that have gone up against the Detroit Pistons, they've had some pretty good games. Hartenstein just dropped 41, and before that, Sarr dropped 37 fantasy points versus them. So if Carlo starts, keep yourself out of foul trouble. 4,900 makes for a decent value option that you can get to. Not nothing that you got to force, but mainly pay attention to the main guys. If Zion's out, Trey Murphy, CJ McCollum. If Zion's in, it will mainly be Zion for me. Kelly Olynyk, I still wouldn't mind him at 5,400 just because he should still be out there. He should still play decent minutes, and he stuffs the stat sheet. He makes for a good spot, good position. Indy taking on the Minnesota Timberpups. So we already got word in this one right here that Pascal Siakam is going to be out. Tyrese Halliburton listed as a game time decision. Nesmith is a game time decision. Miles Turner is a game time decision. I'm very interested in regards to what the lineup would be in regards to this. Halliburton, he's listed questionable due to a sore lower back. We've seen him dealing with stuff left and right, but he's come back and he's played tremendous in the games. 39, 66 fantasy points. I don't hate or mind that. No Pascal Siakam, the usage should be there. Miles Turner, he's questionable due to a left hip contusion, so he's got a sore hip. I can see his need to be able to stretch the floor. You're playing against Rudy, who was a drop big. The upside could be there, especially with no Pascal, maybe some more rebounds, things of that nature. And then, of course, Nesmith, who's been on and off injury report and definitely has been playing some decent ball as of late. For him, he's dealing with a hip injury of late, but he finds himself on injury report with an ankle issue. If he's unable to go, Mathurin, of course, will see a bigger role. So one of the games that we do have to get the news for in regards to what's going on with them, we should be getting those reports pretty soon. At the time that I'm recording this, it's 12:15 on the East Coast. So we should have injury reports in regards to who was at practice, who did what, if they're going to be upgraded to probable, or if they're still going to be listed as questionable. We will have that news pretty soon. Definitely pay attention to that because Halliburton's in. I don't mind going to Hallie here in the spot. It is going to be a bit of a tougher matchup, but with the uses that he should be able to have here with no Pascal Siakam, definitely going to have to take on a scoring role like what he did going up against the Bucks. I could see that here for him. If Nesmith misses, of course, there is going to be a shift in the starting lineup. I could see them doing what they've done before where they have started. Walker has gotten a start. Maybe we could see a Obi Toppin get the start at 3,600. That would be interesting. His minutes have been decent over his last couple, and we do know he does have a 3-point shot that he loves to go to. So Indy could give us some value on today. Got to know the news. I can't really go too deep in regards to Indy. But if Mathurin does start, he owes me some coin because I played him to play over 12 minutes versus the Bucks. Very shocked that he only played 12 minutes. 2 of 3, didn't take any shots. 2 of 2 from 3. 6 points. Didn't do anything. And the game was close. I didn't understand what the hell was going on. I honestly did not understand what was going on with that one. But we'll get the news. I'll give an update later on. I'm probably doing a video today because it is 10 games instead of the article breakdown for you guys, which will just go straight up, just a update in regards to it. And I'm giving you guys the player pool literally right now as I am talking. You will get it again in the video as I do. But if you pay attention to me talking right now, you'll be able to build your player pool for the players that definitely make sense to put into it. On Minnesota Timberpup side, they did just play yesterday, but the game was a blowout, so starters didn't even have to play in the fourth quarter. They should be good. They're fine. They're at home. Of course, Anthony Edwards, 9,300. Don't got to talk about it. Dropped 40 in 3 quarters. Played 31 minutes, 41 points, 50.5 fantasy points. Enough said. Don't got to worry about it. Going up against Andy fast-paced team. Yeah, he probably will deal with the Neesmith defense if Neesmith is playing, or Nemberhard. Both of those guys, decent defenders, but it's Anthony Edwards, 9,300. I'll take that right there for him. Julius Randle didn't have the best game yesterday as well, 7,700. But with the inclusion of Rudy, kind of feel like some of those peripheral stats that we're getting, especially those rebounds, is going back down, especially with Rudy getting his minutes back up. 7,700 would be a GPP option for me, not someone that I'm going to flock to. I'm like, yo, I got to play Julius Randle. Not there. But Jaden McDaniels, this dude has been balling out over his last couple games. 46, 34, 32, 36. Looking pretty good. Even with Rudy being out there, very confident in his shot right now. Definitely rebounding the ball as well. Playing on there, getting his defensive stats. I like the upside for him. 6,600 would be probably the play I go to between him and Julius Randle if I had to choose one. And then, of course, Rudy Gobert, 6,200. The minutes, they're ticking up, especially in competitive games. Could be one of those games where they need him, but again, drop big going up against Indy. I really don't like that. Not necessarily looking in his direction. Mike Conley was rested yesterday. Mike Conley will be back. Dante is not going to start for him, but Dante could still play decent minutes here. So the upside for Dante is definitely in play, but not something that you have to plant your flag on like, yo, I got to play Dante DiVincenzo. Don't think that's the case at all whatsoever. Don't chase after Dante after yesterday, unless they magically decide, yo, we do like what we have with Dante in the starting line. Let's go back to that. That would be the only way I can see that. Chicago Bulls taking on the Utah Jazz. This should be a good game in regards to us getting some decent mid-tier pieces that we can play. Trey Jones, like I've said numerous times, 5,900 underneath that 6K range. As long as he stays underneath 6.5, I have no problem going to Trey Jones just because he's going to be out there and he's producing, especially if Josh Giddey misses again. I know Josh has been out over his last couple games with his ankle. He is doubtful again today. So fire up Trey Jones, fire him up. Kobe White, he's been a Q tag listed for a couple of times, but I do believe that he should be back out here and playing. He's been producing some pretty good ball, especially with Giddey being out. That's another play that we can go to over here. And then Vooch, they said that his minutes are going to slowly creep it up. He started the last game. It's Utah Jazz. We could definitely take opposing centers here. Vooch, 7,300 though. I lean more towards the Trey Jones, Kobe White, and then, of course, Kevin Huerter, long as he's going to be slid into the starting lineup and he's playing these productive minutes. It is the Utah fucking Jazz. Small forwards going up here in this matchup. And before I even get onto small forwards, he's played them pretty well in his time. Of course, this wasn't while he was on the Bulls, but still, 27 fantasy points, 30 fantasy points, and 43 fantasy points in 3 matches versus them on the season. We just saw Jaden McDaniels just drop 46 fantasy points going up against them. We're splashing it from 3, getting those rebounds and things like that. Kevin Huerter, long as there's no Giddey out there, he's going to be slid into the starting lineup. And of course, you guys know they don't have Lonzo Ball and Ayo Dosunmu. His minutes are pretty secure. I don't mind the 5,200 for Kevin Huerter. Definitely for Trey Jones at 5,900. Both those guys make a ton of sense versus a weak defensive Utah Jazz team. And who just don't seem like they know what they're doing. Who's zealous though? 4,700 GP option. I don't know what the hell's going on with his minutes. His minutes are taken down. The development. I don't know what the Bulls are doing. They're trying to win. It seems like they're going to be playing for sure. But man, you guys are just whiffing just throwing to the side what they could be doing over here for them. Everyone else over here, Patrick Williams, Terry, Phillips, all those guys would be GP options. I will say Phillips' minutes have been kind of consistent-ish over the last couple games, and he's given them something when he's out there. Definitely be someone I would look to if you want like a cheap GPP dart throw flyer to get to. That would definitely mess with 3,200 for Phillips. Terry, I don't believe that his minutes have been as consistent. Yeah, no, they have not been as consistent as what we've been seeing from the flip side. So definitely I can mess with Phillips as a possibility, but mainly it would be Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones be the main 2 guys I really do like over there for them. The Utah fucking Jazz, who make no sense in regards to anything that they do. Of course, everybody's listed on the injury report again. Jordan Clarkson, Keontae George, KJ Martin, Springer. They did just play last night as well. So I would imagine that we are going to get somebody's going to be out. Somebody's going to be rested. Are we going to get that news before lock? That's going to be a big thing. I do believe that Walker Kessler did play last night. So maybe, just maybe, he will be held out here today. That is typically what we do see over here from the Jazz. So we should get Filipowski as a starter. If Filipowski's starting, I love the upside for Filipowski here in the spot. 6,300. We've seen it. When he gets extended minutes, the kid balls. Keep himself out of foul trouble. He scores very well. He can rebound out there as well. I would definitely take the upside. I really do lean that Walker Kessler should be out today. I really, really do lean that way. Lean that way in that direction. If he's out, really do like the upside for Filipowski. And that would be the only player that I really can confidently say I like the upside for over here. Sexton, I wouldn't be surprised if he's listed out. Clarkson, I just don't know exactly what to do with the Jazz because they're so weird. They got fined for sitting players because they didn't have any actual injuries, things of that nature. The NBA, y'all crazy with that. Like, I get it. They do have to play. They need to play. You want to stop teams from just trying to tank. But if you're going to go out there and just play a player in the first half of the game, not really giving the extended minutes in the second half, there's no value in that. I'm not messing with Lauri Markkanen. I'm not messing with Colin Sexton. I'm not messing with Clarkson. None of those guys. It will just really be the young guys that you need to focus on and pay attention to. Collier, he should still play his decent minutes over here. 31 minutes in that last game on back-to-backs. He's played 30, 28 minutes. Should be safe for at least 28 would be what I give him. But the upside is really not truly there to me in my eyes. Filipowski, I really do think that he should start. He only played 19 minutes yesterday. Should start here. The upside is definitely there for him. If they start him, they let him play his minutes. I do like that as the main Jazz play. Wait till you get the news over there for that. That's the best thing that I can say in regards to Utah Jazz. Everyone over there is like, you know that game Landmine, where you're just trying to not land on the stupid bomb. That's what the Jazz are, and it's no point, especially not on a 10-game slate. Now, getting into the 10 p.m. and on, where they've given us their own 5-game slate over there on DraftKings, and which I will have a core for these 5 games tonight. I've already locked in my contest for that just because I was like, yo, this really should have been a split of a slate, but they're giving it to us. I definitely will play it. This should be probably is the game of the night if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure this should be on TNT or whatever Mondays are. Yeah, so this will be the ESPN game for tonight. Definitely will be tuned into it because the Joker going up against the surging Golden State Warriors. I have a lot of interest in this because we really don't think that they have truly too much to be able to guard the Joker. The Joker is priced up at 13K though. He has to drop 70. He has to. Of course, this is where we come to the day-old question of, do we fade the Joker or do we force and play? I'm 50-50 on that. Just because I don't really see a true matchup that they're going to be able to stop him with. Now, I do like the auxiliary pieces, and Aaron Gordon, he should play here. We know that they typically do rest him on back-to-backs. That's why he was sat out in that last game. Of course, he's dealing with ankle and whatever issues, but he's playing pretty decent when he's out there and he's actually playing his minutes. That game he got hurt versus OKC. Came back versus the Lakers, 31 minutes, dropped 34.75 fantasy points. I would go right back to Aaron Gordon. Looking very aggressive. Don't mind it at that 5K. That's if you're not playing up for the Joker. If you're not paying up for him. Definitely mess with Aaron Gordon. If he's out, Westbrook will start and we will look towards Russell Westbrook because Westbrook, when he gets the minutes, I don't even have to beat a dead horse. I don't. You guys know this already by now. Outside of that, Jamal Murray, of course, we can look towards Jamal. I don't mind getting there. He's been playing some pretty decent ball over the last couple games. And that's if you are not playing the Joker. It would really just be Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, and of course, Michael Porter Jr. All three of those guys, the main producers over here for the Nuggets whenever the normal starting lineup is there. Brom, he's there, 6K. If he's truly out, dealing with this foot issue, we can still see Russ get the start right there. So it would still put Russ in contention. But if you land on Christian Braun, I don't hate it, but I would come down for that 1K. Just go ahead and just play Aaron Gordon. Just makes sense. I could fit him at power forward or my forward spot. So that would be the only other thing over here for them. Michael Porter Jr. going up against the Golden State Warriors. He's played them pretty well. The one game that they played earlier this season, back in December, 31 minutes, he dropped 35 fantasy points versus them. The Joker, he dropped 72. So that's what I'm saying. He has to give me at least 70 plus in this matchup for me to justify paying that much for him on today. So that's the only just caveat when it comes down to it for them. Everyone else over here, GPP options, nothing that we have to force or focus on or get to. On the Golden State Warriors side, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, those would be the main guys I want to get to. Kuminga, who was not supposed to play XYZ amount of minutes, he's played now 20 minutes in back-to-back games. I guess this must be the minute cap that we're giving Jonathan Kuminga. And he's legit paid off every single second of it, of being out there, giving us over a fantasy point per minute, looking just like himself before he left. I like the upside. Don't mind it. 5,300. Granted, there are some other actual starters that we can get to instead. Kevin Huerter would be one of them that you should be playing over playing a 5,300 Jonathan Kuminga. But Draymond Green, I don't see them starting him here at the center spot. If they start Post or if they start Santos, one of those guys, they definitely do make for an option. But we have seen opposing centers. How the hell did you let the Washington Wizards? The Washington fucking Wizards beat you. First of all, Denver. I forgot to even mention that. And Sar. Woo! Alex Sar, that boy, he's showing. He was a lottery pick. He was up there for top 3 pick for a reason. But if Draymond Green is starting at center, trying to guard the Joker, I can see him definitely getting himself into foul trouble. Now, versus the Denver Nuggets earlier this season, he did not play in that game. So this will be the first time that he will be playing going up against them. I don't see them starting Draymond at the center spot. I really don't. I don't think that you can. Not trying to guard the Joker. That small ball center is not going to work here in the spot. I don't think that it will. But now if they're throwing doubles, they're throwing traps at the Joker, it could. It definitely could. Draymond would be the catalyst of doing that. But Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, both these guys are in tremendous spots, and I love the upside for both of them. Curry's been playing some pretty good ball out there, and Jimmy Butler has finally started to step it up over the last couple games, especially while they've been dealing with Potomensky being out. The upside for Jimmy, this is one of those games that Jimmy would normally be like, all right, let me go ahead and do my thing. Jimmy Butler, triple-double upside, as we can see as well, if he decides that he wants to play make to that extent. But the rebounding numbers are really great. The assist numbers have definitely been pretty great. Definitely will be someone I wouldn't mind taking for at least 5 assists here in this matchup. Like, that would be my favorite play to take from Jimmy. Gets buckets would be his 5 assists. Now, I understand, yes, he is going to get those buckets, but 7,700, good upside, good spot. Don't mind getting him. Long as pod's out, the upside will be there for Jimmy. If you want to pivot off of the Denver guys and not play the Joker, I definitely would run. I would say I'd run a Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, run it back with a Aaron Gordon or a Michael Porter Jr. That would be the stack that I would get from this game if you were running something and you want to really just focus on this right here. That would be the way to go, because you're going to get your value from the Denver Nuggets. You're going to get your studs that you want to get from the Golden State Warriors, and it would balance itself out, especially if the game stays close, high scoring, and all those other things like that. Denver's defense has been pretty weak over the last couple games anyway. It's definitely there. If Santos starts again, you could definitely mess with that right there. That would be an option. He got the start last game. He played 21 minutes, gave us 14.25 fantasy points. It will be there. I do think that Post is the better player between the two, so just keep that in mind. Memphis taking on Sacramento Queens. Ja Morant has been listed as out. He's not playing right here. We saw Luke Kennard get the start last game that Ja was out. So I would imagine it will be the same thing here again. Now, Luke Kennard got the start, but Scottie Pippen Jr. outplayed Luke Kennard when he came off the bench, and he still played 29 minutes in that game, dropped 43 fantasy points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds, couple of steals, and 11 points. Pretty good upside for Scottie Pippen Jr. The list is questionable, dealing currently with left wrist soreness. If he's in, of course, I wouldn't mind pivoting. Well, so this is where your GPP options come in. Luke Kennard should be lower owned than Scottie Pippen if Scottie Pippen is actually going to be in. Everyone's going to flock to Scottie Pippen more than likely. Even though Scottie is 4,700, we know that his minutes are secure. Luke Kennard probably will be lower owned. Now, granted, you're going to have some people that will look at the price and be like, why am I going to pay 47 for Scottie when he's not even starting? Or if they got the extra 200 left over, they might just pay up for him. Still, I like the upside for Luke Kennard over Scottie Pippen here, just trying to get a little leverage on the field. Both of them are in really great spots. Don't mind going with either or. But your main guys you're going to want to get to over here, of course, are going to be Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. Both of them, no Ja. The uses, the upside is there for them, and this is just a spot that we can continue to attack. Desmond Bane, that would be another one that you can go out here and take for 20 points to score here on tonight. Would definitely be one that I would consider. Or Jaren Jackson Jr. Either one of those guys for 20 plus points, it should be written in the cards. Bane will be another one, just like I said with Jalen Green. You can take it for 2 to 3 threes. That would be another spot right there. But 9K for Desmond Bane, no Ja Morant. The price is definitely well worth it. 53 fantasy points in that last game without Ja out there going up against Miami. 30 minutes, like, it just makes sense. Jaren Jackson Jr., he was coming back from injury. He's playing the minutes, and he's giving us the upside. Keeps himself out of foul trouble. This is definitely one of those spots where we can say JJJ, go out there and have a very productive game. Versus the Sacramento Queens earlier this season, he played 34 minutes, dropped 44 fantasy points in that game. First game, he put up a fantasy point per minute. Of course, between the two, Jaren Jackson Jr. will be more on the Desmond Bane. That's just looking at salary. Like, first look, everyone's going to look at the salary, pay attention to that. Play Bane over Jaren Jackson Jr. and GPPs if you want to get different and you want to get a lower owned play. That's how you make the difference right there. Boom, there you go. Zach Edey, the minutes, It's the minutes. That's my only issue and problem that I ever have with trying to play Zach Edey, and that's the only reason why I don't ever go there. Outside of that, really not going to focus or force anyone else over there from the Memphis Grizzlies. On the Sacramento Queens side, this will be an interesting spot for them because Memphis plays at such a fast pace. This should give us some boost to some guys. Now, Sabonis, he's back. He's playing. Went out there and he played 30 minutes in that first game back. Triple-doubled in that game. Amazing. Great. Awesome. 9,400. I'm still probably not going to pay that for Sabonis. Especially, like I said, there's some decent value spots over here for center on today. And yeah, if I'm paying up at center, I'm more than likely going to play the Joker. But the axillary pieces, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, all these guys are definitely going to be in play. Like I said, Memphis is a weak defensive team, and they just play super fast. So more possessions, more upside for all these guys. You don't have to play Sabonis. LaVine, DeRozan, Monk, my favorite one out of these three would be Malik Monk. As long as that shot is actually falling, and he has played well going up against Memphis. In both games, he's dropped 46 and 33 fantasy points. Both games as a starter in December and in January. I could definitely see the upside going to him right there. Zach LaVine, he's just too reliant on his scoring, but he has popped versus Memphis Grizzlies as well. He's dropped 44 and 37 fantasy points versus them, scoring over 25 points in both games. And then DeMar DeRozan, he as well has dropped 43 and 32 fantasy points. So the upside is there for these guys, but Malik Monk would be just the value in regards to his price, would be the one that I would rather get to, especially just if that shot is falling for him as well. This could be one of those really good upside spots for him. Everyone else over here, Keegan, value, GPP option, Jonas Valanciunas, price has to come down. Not going there unless they're going to magically start running a double big line. I don't understand why he's still priced up at 7,400 and he's played 14 and 12 minutes in the last two games. That makes no fucking sense to me. Do not touch that. Do not play that. Oh my God, that's just ridiculous. Washington taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Interesting, interesting game. Tip my hats to Jordan Poole just pulling up that deep ass three. I really don't think that he was necessarily trying to make it and didn't care if they went to overtime, which I would have loved if they would have went into overtime. Would have been awesome. But yeah, crazy. Brogdon's out, Sadiq Bey's out, Corey Kisper's out, Bilal Coulibaly is out. We are going to still Shishi and Penny slid into the starting lineup for them, and he's to me is the best play over here for the Wizards when it comes down to just the value for him. 5,400, and the dude's going out there giving us 37 and 41 fantasy points. That first game versus Detroit didn't have the best shooting night, but since then he's scoring. He's looking pretty good out there, comfortable, getting us those peripheral stats, getting rebounds, a couple of assists, but also playing good defense. Just has to keep those fouls down, and he gives us some really great fantasy point outings and upside. 5,400, I will take that all day right there, no problem. Alex Sarr, he has been on a fucking roll. 54, 37, I'm gonna know the 20, 41, 34. The shot, he's feeling confident from three, looking very good. 6,500 would be an option right there. Would be the pivot off of Jalen Duren if you want to mess with that. And I mean, this is Portland's playing good ball. They're very well out there. I don't mind it. I don't mind going to Alex Sarr when it comes down to it. Keontae George, he's there. Chris Middleton, again, like always, the 5,300, the 5K-ish range for him. He's gonna go out there and play the mid 20 minutes. He's there. If you got to land there, that's where you land there. But it's the 10-game slate. There's plenty of other plays. Even on the 5-game slate for the late slate, I don't necessarily see myself having to get to Chris Middleton. Shem would be my favorite play over here from the Washington Wizards. Definitely, more than likely, will probably end up in my core just for the upside. I really do feel like he has a safe floor right around 25 and the upside for 30, 35 plus fantasy points here in this position spot. So definitely would take that when it comes down to it. Outside of that, GPP options really for Poole, Keyshawn. That would really just be it for me over there. On the Portland side, can we get the Deni Avdija revenge game today? If Grant is out again, because Grant missed yesterday, he was ruled out for his knee, third consecutive contest that he missed. I really hope that Grant is out because we did not get the Deni Avdija. Hey, fuck you guys. You traded me. You wasted my time here. We didn't get that game, and I want that game. I want that upside of a game. So if we get it, Deni Avdija, 7,100, he's playing some amazing ball. 37, 53, 68, looking very good. And the minutes. Now, Chauncey, I gave your team some credit. Please do not make me regret it. Play Deni Avdija 35 minutes as long as he doesn't get injured. At least 35. Let him have his moment versus the Washington Wizards, please. Outside Deni Avdija, really just everyone else gets a boost long as these guys remain out. I really do hope Grant is out because that's really just going to fuck up everything if he's back because Denny's usage, rebounding, upside, all that is there whenever whenever Grant is missed. So we really do hope that's there. Anthony Simons was on the injury report yesterday was questionable to play due to, I want to say, his wrist injury, and we would have got Scoop starting if Simons missed. With him being on the injury report yesterday, and he went out there, he played decent, played 32 minutes, dropped 35.25 fantasy points. That's okay. I kind of hope that he's out today, because I wouldn't mind getting to a Scoot who still went out there and played 30 minutes yesterday, but only 18.25 fantasy points. I want him to start. If he starts, I do think the upside is there for him, especially just the playmaking, and also like he's more aggressive looking for a shot, things of that nature. I wouldn't mind getting down there. Shaden Sharp, Donovan Clingan, both these guys definitely plays you can go to. Clingan, longest Time Lord and all those guys miss. His minutes have been pretty secure, and of course he's playing pretty good. Would have loved to see him get the double-double yesterday. Was just bad shooting night for him all around. I wouldn't mind going to him. Definitely one of those teams we're going to have to get the news for, but of course, favorite play, I gas it up. You guys already know. Denny Avnia, if you guys didn't get it yet. All right, Toronto Raptors taking on the Phoenix Sun. This right here is another one of those teams and game and just the environment where it's just like, bro, Toronto, man. Scotty played yesterday, because they did play yesterday. Yeah, Scotty played yesterday. Wouldn't be surprised if he was going to be out today, and then maybe we get RJ Barrett in. Either way, I don't trust the Toronto Raptors. I don't trust them at all. I don't see a world where I have to play them. I don't see myself playing anything from the Raptors. I just don't. Quickly would be the only one that I could possibly take a stab at, just because he didn't play yesterday. But then again, the non-security in the minutes just scares me off of everyone over here. If you want to really truly like have to play something from them, maybe Lawson, Shaheed, Battle, Castleton, the guys that we're actually seeing end up getting minutes. That's where I would go right there. But Toronto's a fade for me, being honest. Same thing on the other side for the Suns. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, both those guys, of course, no Bradley Beal. Boom, it's a boost. But Tyus Jones, he should get the start. We've seen it before when Beal misses games. Sorry, I take my gum out. We've seen it before whenever Beal misses games. He'll get the start. He'll go out there. He'll play some decent minutes. Now, the only thing is that Tyus played 24 minutes in that game. Where is he at? Gillespie, sitting at 3K. He played 23 minutes. Shot 1 of 7, 16.75 fantasy points. Definitely could have gave us a little bit more. And I think maybe it really was foul trouble that might have messed with him. So I would really pay attention to the starter. Or just if you're looking for a way to fit the Joker into your line, take a stab at Gillespie. Take a stab. Like, just one lineup is $5 to enter into the big 100K to first. Take a stab. Play Gillespie. And just, I mean, it's Toronto Raptors, bro. It's Toronto. I would take the stab right there on Gillespie. And I mean, shoot, I wouldn't mind possibly playing him as my main line. If I'm being real honest. I expect Tyus to start. Wouldn't be surprised if Gillespie still sees decent minutes with Tyus being a starter just from the minute profile that we just saw yesterday. Like, that's just going to be it right there for me. San Antonio Spurs, last game of the slate. San Antonio Spurs taking on Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, Bassey's out. Fox is out for the season. Wemby's out for the rest of the time, so on and so forth. Over here for me, it's Castle and Vassell. Like, that actually rhymes, Castle and Vassell. Castle and Vassell is going to really be it. Castle, we're seeing the minutes, making his push for Rookie of the Year, playing very well, going up against the Los Angeles Lakers, who I expect for them to be without Luka here, because he has sat on back-to-backs before. And you really shouldn't need Luka to play going up against San Antonio Spurs. I like it. I like this spot here for Castle. Definitely the pivot off of Castle would be going to Vassell. And he's played very well in his last 2 games. The minutes are going to be there for these guys. These are pretty much the driving force out there in the starting lineup for them. Sochan, Keldon Johnson. Sochan, for some reason, like, his minutes have been up, down, just all over the place. He is producing when he's out there, so I wouldn't mind taking a stab on him. But Keldon Johnson, definitely he's come in and he's playing very well. We know he can go out there and he can score with the best of them. So I would mainly just focus on these 4 guys right here. Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, Champagnie, 10-game slate. We don't need it. Now, on the Los Angeles Faker side of things, I expect Luka to sit. If Luka sits, then Dawson Connect should see his minutes go back up to where it was when he, 1, got the start, and 2, it's going up against the Spurs. If Dawson Connect starts, I mean, that's another value play for you right there on the day slate. 5,900 Easy day, 10:30 lock time. We should have that by the time we get to this 10 p.m. slate of games. Hopefully we have that news right there if we need to make some type of adjustment. But Dalton Connect would be my favorite play from the Lakers over here if Luka is out, because then I would imagine that you're going to start Dalton in the spot. Now, if Austin Reeves is out there without Luka, of course, 8,900. I mean, he's the direct pivot off of Luka. With no LeBron being out there, Austin Reeves is legit just playing amazing ball. Love the upside. Would go right over there to Austin if Luka sits, because he's going to have to go out there and be the de facto point guard and do what he does. Gabe Vincent, Goodwin, those guys are all just like, they're there. Shake Milton, they're there. I really don't care too much to try to get anything crazy from over here. Now, the monkey wrench would be if Rui all of a sudden is good to go and he plays and they decided to mess with his, like, working back in. I still like Dalton Connect. Jackson Hayes, he's there. If you want to chase the big game that Hayes just had yesterday, 35 fantasy points playing 29 minutes, go right ahead. But there's other centers and stuff on today's slate. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully, you guys were able to get a little something from this right here. Good luck to everybody on today's slate. 10 games. Man, I will have 2 cores. I will have the 10 p.m. games, and of course, I will have the main slate of games. More than likely, update video coming to you guys later on the day, just so I can be able to just cover everything and not try to sit there, type up the whole article, because it is 10 games, and your boy did get started late. I apologize, but that will be back tomorrow. Prop plays going up as well. Shit picks, I will have all that. If you're looking for all that, make sure you guys, of course, as always, hit the subscribe button. Join up on the YouTube membership. It is right there on that membership tab to support your boy. With that being said, peace.